Alice, Annie, Sam, thanks for coming up and helping me get stuff ready for Christmas. There's lots going on, but you can see up here, there's all kinds of stuff for Christmas, but I'm not sure what I'm looking for.
What's that?
Oh, Sam, this is oh gosh, look at this.
Wow.
It looks like just a bunch of sticks, but it's the manger for the Christmas story. I mean, we're going to set this up, and we're going to have to use this later, so.
Who's this?
Oh, yeah, look at that. Annie, Alice, you're right. This is Mary, and this is part of the Christmas story creche set, they call it, or a manger scene. Some people have in their houses. You know what we need to do? Let's take all this stuff down to the parlor, and we'll start to put it together, and I'll tell you the story, okay?
Perfect.
All right, let's go. Well, thanks for helping me find the pieces for the manger scene. This is the manger scene. Some people have them in their homes, maybe on a fireplace, under the Christmas tree, but usually they're a lot smaller. And we found Mary, right? And this is who the Christmas story starts with. So an angel comes to Mary. Well, thanks for helping me find the pieces for the manger scene. This is the manger scene. Some people have them in their homes, maybe on a fireplace, under the Christmas tree, but usually they're a lot smaller. And we found Mary, right? And this is who the Christmas story starts with. So an angel comes to Mary, an angel's like a messenger, and tells Mary something that really surprises her. She's going to have a baby. And so she tells Joseph, way over here, that they're going to have a baby. And Joseph's really surprised too. But there's more to the story than just that, because while Mary was waiting to have the baby, Mary and Joseph lived in Nazareth. But there was an emperor who's sort of like a king over all the lands. The emperor said, I want to know how many people are in all my countries. It's called a census. And he said, everyone's got to be counted. 1, 2, 3. But not only counted, everyone had to go to the towns that they're called ancestor, but like their grandmas and their grandpas are from. Well, Mary and Joseph, they lived over here, and they lived in Nazareth, and they had to go all the way to Bethlehem. And Mary rode the donkey up and down and up and down. And then they came to Bethlehem. And when they got there, it was really crowded because everyone was there to be counted, right, for the census. And so they knocked on the door of an inn. An inn's kind of like a motel. And they went, and the door swung open. And the innkeeper, the guy who managed the inn, held out the lantern and said, who's knocking on my door so late at night? And Joseph said, my wife Mary's going to have a baby. Can we stay at the inn? And the innkeeper looked out and said, I'm sorry, there's no room at the inn. Try somewhere else. And he started to close the door, but he stopped. He pushed it back open. He said, well, she looks like she's going to have a baby soon. I don't have any room at the inn, but out behind the inn at the stable, which is like a barn where the animals were kept, he said, I have some room there. You can stay there. So imagine he took the lantern and he led Mary and Joseph to the stable or the barn. And that's where they were going to sleep. And then that night, Mary gave birth to the baby Jesus. But there's more to the story, and we're probably going to have to go back to the balcony to find the rest of the characters, okay? Well, all right. Well, great. Thanks. Well, we found the other characters. Thanks for helping me find the boxes and get the church ready for Christmas. You knew right away. You said, this is one of the sheep, and this is the shepherd. Shepherds are kind of like babysitters for sheep. Well, we told the story of the birth of the baby that night in Bethlehem. Well, that very night, the shepherds, they were out in their fields, and it says in the Bible, keeping watch over their flocks by night, their flocks of sheep. And they were so tired. They were looking up at the sky because they'd been on there walking all day long. They were looking up and starting to fall asleep. And all of a sudden, they were really scared. There's an angel in the sky. The angel said, don't be scared. I bring you good news of a great joy. For unto you is born this night in the city of David, that's Bethlehem, Christ our Lord. And the shepherds said to each other, that's amazing. We've got to go and see the birth of this baby. And so the shepherds all decided to go, but they realized they're the babysitters for sheep. They'd probably have to take the sheep with them. So imagine that they walk up and down the hills until they come to the manger as well to see the baby Jesus. But the story doesn't just end with them. Put on your thinking caps and imagine all the way over here, way to the east, there were these astrologers. Those are people who study the stars at night. We call them the wise men. And they've been waiting and looking up at night, waiting for this one special star. And then they said, there's the star, the one we've been waiting for, the one that tells the birth of the special baby. Well, imagine if they made their way. Maybe they rode camels, and they rode up and down the hills until they came to Bethlehem and the manger where the baby was born. And they brought special gifts. And they're funny sounding words of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So you can imagine maybe in this bag is gold, maybe like what my ring is made of, right? So they brought gold, and the middle one, frankincense. That's another funny sounding word. But imagine that this king brought frankincense in his bag, and it's like spices that maybe your mom or dad would use in the kitchen, and they would make the whole house smell wonderful. And the last king brought, look in the jar, myrrh, which is sort of like perfume or oil, and brought all these gifts for the baby Jesus. And so, Sam, Alice, Annie, this is the story of the birth of the baby Jesus. It's the story of the beginning of Christmas and the whole reason we get our homes and our hearts ready for God. So anyhow, thanks for helping me find all the characters and the manger and cleaning up the balcony and for listening to this great story. Thanks.
Yeah, of course.